Hello, my name is Kevin Garcia, and this is my final project on my web page and sites. So this is the overall project description. The internet is a huge and always advancing place where you can express yourself and your interests and hobbies, and that's what my goal was, to review and critique stuff that entertains me and hopefully entertains other people. And stuff that I would review would be, video games, movies, and TVs, again, just entertaining aspects. So I decided to go with the hierarchy model structure since I'm dealing with not that many pages. It's around 4 or 5, so the index is a lot more important because that's where everything originates, everything spans off. And these are the web frames, and as you can see, I decided to break the page into 3 different sections. We have the head, which includes the web title and the menu, the main content, and the slideshow. So I didn't want one square to overlap or take away from another section. And we will see the following web frames in the next slide, but yeah, the highlighted means what that web page represents as in itself. Here we go. Yeah, the contact me isn't really that grand or flashy. It's just the important information to link and note down. Alright, the typography is very important because you really want to separate from other websites. You don't want to use an Arial or a New Times Roman because you don't want it to. I don't want to deliver that professional, too professional, but still legible and readable. And this is why I decided to go with these. Of course, the content, I do want that to be legible, so I decided to go with something simpler. And the title, I wanted to be artistic, but again, still readable. And this is the navigation. The review button will be the only one that needs a drop down, and that's will lead the audience to past reviews and past articles that I've written. And down here we'll show the breadcrumb navigation that will be displayed on top of the menu. And this is the placeholder. As you can see, it's very similar to the web frame. And one thing that I really want to note is that in the beginning, the search and the ad were on the left, and I decided to flip that. Figured it'd be more productive if they see the important information than the add-ons later. Again, this displays how the main content will be expressed. We have the cover image. I use Robocop as an example. And these bars will indicate where the lettering and the text will go. And that concludes my presentation.
Alright. Outdoors fans, how many do we have? How many of y'all like soccer? They're actually selling these out for $30. It's got like 6 tickets in there.
What's that got to do with fishing?
The target for this site is outdoors fans. Sportsmen, sports fishing, recreational fishing, soccer fans. Everyone likes to go out to the beach or the lake. Some people like to fish, some people like to sit there and splash in the water while the other people fish. Like me as a kid. As a kid, I had ADD, so fishing, I'd always spend about 10 minutes fishing whenever we first got there, and then the rest of it was spent splashing in water while my dad fished and yelled at us for splashing right by his pole. Scare away the fish. Alright. The logo will be on the left side of the map as large, so that way you can actually see some of the details in there. It'll make the water actually look like water rather than just a big purple block. And actually see that those are fishing rods, not 2 toothpicks. Right there is the main navigation, where you can place whatever navigation tabs you want in there. We could even cascade them down and have the current one pop to the front There would be a breadcrumb navigation, and in between the header and the content bodies. And then the content body, you can place all your images, all your comments, any products, anything you want to add or take away, we can place or take away in the content. And copyright will be at the bottom. That's where everyone expects the copyright to be. If you move it around, then people are going to be like, oh, there's no copyright on this, and they might not see it. So you have to deal with a court case that honestly no one wants to deal with the court case. So just have it where they expect it to be. The site structure will kind of sit like this, with the actual site and all the images, all the videos, everything's split up into their project or into their groups. So that way every page has to go to the same file rather than every page has to jump out of files and into files and mixing it all up. With a page like this where there's going to be several pages and several links to different products, then this would be the easiest way to set up a system of everything going back and forth. The visual designs I decided on were green as a background, kind of a grassy feel green. That way they kind of start to get the outdoors feeling, with a tan box, kind of like a beach sand as the content, and then blue for the links. It's supposed to be water, but if we add the water or texture to links, then you kind of distract the eye from the text and they might not be able to read the text. So we need the legibility on the links. The products page, we can insert or take away spaces for more products. We can add products like casting weights, the little rubber weights for casting on shore, just practicing. We can add more products, more bait, more lures, more fishing line. The feedback page will have feedback from the customers and also questions asked and images of happy customers with their catch. That always attracts me to a bait. I'll look at it, I'll see a picture of a guy holding a 15-pound bass. I'm like, if I knew where a 15-pound bass was, I'm going to use this. And I'll buy it and set it in my tackle box just in case. The contact page, we will have the contact information for each of the warehouses, so that way they know about how long to expect for their shipment. If warehouse is an hour away, they shouldn't have to wait 3 days for it to come by mail. We could just contact the warehouse and have a driver out to them the same day. A general email address for everyone employed there. Anyone who needs or who can answer questions will get an email whenever the email is clicked on. The text examples are the Lucinda calligraphy. Lucinda. This provides a nice grandmotherly feel because whenever I think professional, I think of my grandmother's handwriting and not my grandfather's. My grandfather's kind of like mine and it's a little sloppy, but grandma's you can always read. The main links and the headlines will be in the Lucinda calligraphy, while the breadcrumb and small copyright text will be in the New Times Roman, so that way it can be smaller and still be very clear. The MV Bully was a backup choice, but we decided not to use that. The black text on the top is what we will use for the copyright and the breadcrumb links, just because no one's really looking for that unless they are other designers. Unless they know what to look for, they don't really care about that. The blue text will be for the main links, and then whenever they roll over it with the mouse, the hover will turn it white, and after they click it, it will be a nice gray. We have some of the images I took myself of products where we can place on. All this is just temporary products. We can replace it with the actual products. And then the page will look like that whenever it's got all the products on. Similar. We'll try to group all the products with the same products rather than having them all scattered out like Amazon. For the navigation, I was thinking home, products, feedback, customers, and contact. Under customers, it won't actually have the customers, but it'll have their pictures, their feedback pictures, their any videos of how to do something. Like bake cast reels are pretty difficult to cast, so we can have how-to videos on how to use some of the more complicated equipment. Fly fishing is pretty complicated to learn, but once you learn it, it's easy, so we can have videos on that also. For the clicked, the background will go to white, so that way you can still see, or the background will go to green, so the white letters will still pop out on there after they leave that one. And for the hover, it will be a tan with the gray text, because once they hover, the change from the blue to tan will pop out, and so that way they know that their mouse is hovering over it. Breadcrumb, black, and whenever they hover over it, it will be gray. Click on it, it turns white, and then they go back to it, it'll go back to black. Any questions?
Still a little stretch on what I want to do. I present to you my website. Basically what it's aimed for, it's mostly informational. I'm only selling one thing, which is ticket admissions to the auto show convention. And it's only meant for people who are very interested in cars only. If you're not a car person, then don't listen, please. It's gonna be displayed mostly as pictures, flashy cars like the Bugattis and all that. For the typography, I chose the simple Times New Romans, which everybody uses it. Sure, it's very special, spazzy text, but I just want something that everybody could actually read. This is the structure of the site. It's more simple. I don't want it to be all cluttered up everywhere. I don't want too many links. I just want like a minimal amount of links so it could lead to that and to that. I want it to keep going on to infinity and beyond. These are the examples that I'm showing from the wireframes. This is how it will look like. That's the home page. I probably should have made more. Feedback page.
It's got a red pointer on it if you push the center button.
Alright. Home page. That's the feedback page. That's the contact information, and this is the schedule for the admission that you want to purchase for the convention. Like I said, it's only gonna be displayed for images. It's less text oriented. We will be posting cars from different websites and car designers, like the ones that you see right now. And that is it.